Hi everyone, it's so nice to see you. It's quite dark here, so I can't see all your faces, but I'm hoping that you're going to have a great evening. It's a privilege to open the stage tonight for this amazing TEDx initiative here in Molos in Cyprus. So without further ado, I will start my talk, which is on why little people matter. Now, I'm going to ask you for a second, please, to close your eyes and just think of someone who means the world to you, who's influenced your life in a way, who's made a profound impact on your life. To feel them, feel their presence. Give yourself a second to really feel that person who's made a difference in your life. Now open your eyes. Does anybody want to share with me who that could have been? Just shout out, because I can't see hands. Uncle, daughter, friend, family. So I think for everyone, when we have to think of people that really made a difference in our lives, it's people close to us, but not people that are, in the traditional sense, famous or influential. It's people who are our family and our closest and our nearest and dearest. And that is what I mean by little people. I'm going to use this talk to share a series of little stories to showcase that we are all important, that we all have a purpose and a meaning here in this world, and that us ordinary people, us little people, can have an extraordinary influence. My first story is on our 30th anniversary of the hotel that I run. And many years afterwards, our food and beverage manager was leaving the company. And I had him on my podcast. And I asked him a very simple question. What was the most important part of your career? What's your most memorable moment of your career to date? And his answer really shocked me, because he didn't even have to think about it. He just smiled and said, it was when you got up on stage at the 30-year anniversary party and thanked me in front of all of those people for all the work I did. And I was really floored by this. I couldn't believe that, with such a long career, that this was a moment that mattered. But as Will Guidara said in his recent book, praise is addictive, especially when it's in public. Small acts, small genuine acts of kindness can mean the world to people, whether we remember them or not. I said that at an anniversary speech to 1,000 people, and I honestly don't remember the words I said in that speech. So when I say little people, I don't mean just children, I mean everyone, all of us. We're all important. We all have a role to play in this world. I'm going to give another story of a little girl who was walking in Tennessee, and excuse my American impression of an accent before we give the story. So this little girl was walking down the street holding her mama's hand, and she saw this stunning, voluptuous, quite over-the-top blonde lady with red lipstick, and she said, Mama, who's that? And her mother looked over, saw the lady, and said, oh, honey, you don't want to look at her. She's just trash. And the little girl thought for a minute, looked again at the lady, and said, you know what? When I grow up, that's what I want to be. I want to be trash. Now, the woman that they were referring to as trash was the town tramp. She was probably a loose lady. I have no idea. I'm not here to judge. But we don't know. Maybe she cried herself to sleep every night. Maybe she was looking for love and validation. Nobody will remember her name. But this little girl was so impressed by that woman at that moment that she went on to base her whole image and her future brand on this lady. And that girl was Dolly Parton. So that town tramp, even though she might not have realized it at the time, had a purpose, had a reason. This is my grandmother, my English grandmother, from my mom's side. Now, I think we all have a soft spot for our grandparents, probably even more so for our maternal grandmothers. And this lady was not famous. She wasn't rich. She definitely didn't change the world, but she changed my world, and she changed me, and she changed how I saw the world. She believed in me. She told me even when I was a little girl in an often sexist world and coming from a Middle Eastern background that you can still do it as a girl. You're going to make a difference. You're going to be special. And that really made me who I am. Now, this woman had been through an unbelievable amount, as I think many people in the Second World War, after the Second, even the First World War went through. Her first husband passed away, he was a pilot, leaving her with a newborn baby. She remarried to a German, and her own parents didn't even attend the wedding. She had 4 children, but unfortunately lost her first child when the child was just 12 years old. She had 2 miscarriages to babies she could hold. And despite all of this, she hugged better, laughed louder, dressed more impressively, sang better, and always had a purpose. She was an amazing woman who showed me that resilience it cannot be, I can't think now of the word, it's just that she was so amazing. And she showed me that we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose in life and that we should be strong. So my husband and I were driving home one day, and there's not this house, but another house here that's quite an opulent, large house, very close to where we live. And we made a flippant joke, and we had jokes about this house quite a few times, saying that this ornate house was Cinderella's castle, and our children actually did believe that Cinderella was moving in quite soon. And we did explain to them that wasn't the case. And while we went home on that particular day, our eldest child, who was probably only about 8 or 9 at the time, said, "Mommy, Daddy, why are you laughing at that house? That might not be your dream, but that's someone else's dream. And you should never laugh at anyone else's dream." Those words touched me so much, and they changed my perspective. And it reminded me how important everybody's view is and how important everybody's dreams are in this world. And on the note of perspective, look at where we are. We live in Limassol. We have the most amazing views, amazing sunsets every day. And yet, I'm sure we can all relate to this. Many people will look out and see this view and say, "Wow, look where I am. Look at everything. Look at nature. Look at this breathtaking sunset." And other people will say, "Oh, it's the end of the day. Oh my goodness, I didn't finish my emails. I've got to get my kids to bed." And they completely lose sight of what is important. This is me as a little girl. I put this picture in just to emphasize that all of us go through different stages of our own lives. I was very lucky. I was born into wealth. Yet my mother was very, very strict about us being brought up to be privileged, but not to be spoiled. I had great friends. I had the best schools. I had amazing opportunities, and I'm so grateful for all of this. And yet, in the same life, if I told it differently, only my closest friends will know some of the hardships I went through, some of the hurdles I had to overcome, and the challenges I had to face, the tears and the rivers that I've cried. And yet, looking at the 2 different ways of seeing the same story, we can see that we can change our own future. We can write our own story, and we can even rewrite our past. We have to be strong, we have to remember who we are, and we have to stay positive. So here's a thought for us all to take away. There's many, many, many famous people in this world. I've just put just a few up here. But imagine if just a handful of these people were not born. Whether they're good or bad, whether they did a good or bad thing for the world. Imagine the world if someone like Adolf Hitler or Oprah Winfrey or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos hadn't been born. Imagine how the world would be. Now imagine if their parents had made different choices. Now imagine if the same people as children had different teachers or bumped into different strangers or had different family experiences. So we just know these people, but there are millions of people that help shape these people who in turn shaped the world. I love this story, and I've used it before, so forgive me if you've heard me in a speech previously. But one day there was a storm, and hundreds of starfish were washed up on the seashore. And a little boy ran down, and he started frantically trying to pick up the starfish and throwing them in one by one. And an older man came past, and he saw the little boy and all his efforts, and he said, "My son, what are you doing? You cannot possibly save all of these animals. What difference is it going to make?" And the boy looked up. For a second, he stopped, and then defiantly, he bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the sea. And he said it made a difference to that one. Every kind word can make a difference to that one person. So how can we as little people make a difference? We can be the best version of ourselves. We can take that time to smile, to be kind to someone, and we never know where that ripple effect is going to take us. Another story, I love English history, British history. This maybe, even if you do love British history, you might not know this story. This is Catherine Swynford, who was a young lady living in the 1300s in England, and she caught the eye of the king's youngest son, John of Gaunt. And she became his mistress, and for many years they lived in sin. They had 4 children. And finally, he wed her, and he legitimized the children. Now, there weren't Find Your Purpose books back in the 1300s. There weren't seminars on having importance and knowing that everything in your life is going to mean something. This woman could have had no vision into what her role would be in the world history. But her children eventually, or her ancestors eventually went on to become the royal family of England. Now, I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes just for a few seconds. Bear with me. And in those few seconds, just feel still. Just relax. Feel the time. And I'll tell you when to open them. Okay, that was only about 15 seconds. If we'd had more time, I would have made it a minute. But my point is, so imagine if that was a minute. It feels like a long time. Like in a minute, you can do a lot of things. There are 1,440 minutes in every day. Even if we take out the 8 hours that I hope you're all getting a good night's sleep, that still leaves you with over 1,000 minutes to use. And in that minute, you could spend an extra minute, a few times, a few moments with your child. You could call your parents. You could tell your friend you love them. You could be kind to a stranger. You could share a creative idea. You can do so much with your time, and you don't know where that is going to lead. So in closing, I will say how we can be the best version of ourselves and how us little people can make a difference. Keep growing, keep learning, keep loving, keep giving. Be kind, do your best, and know that you are enough. We are all making history. We are all changing the world step by step together, and we all have a purpose. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of TEDx, and thank you very much.